Hey, this is Gregor. I'm working on converting hubot from CoffeeScript to JavaScript right now. We already done with hubot itself. The package is just not yet released, but the pull request is merged. And I want to record this screencast to show how I did it with the example of hubot-help. Because it's pretty simple, and then people can use it as an instruction to help out and converting the other scripts and also their own scripts and applications. So before we start, we need to adapt a few things. So here in hubot-help, package.json, there's actually a new hubot-mock-adapter, which is called v3, which is compatible with the new hubot version. We eventually want to release a new major version of hubot-mock-adapter itself, so this might not be necessarily soon, but for now we can use that. And then hubot we want to install directly from GitHub, so we say hubot-dio hubot, and I've run into a small problem that I fixed in a separate branch, so I will use that to install. Okay, so now I will run npm install. Okay, I got that. I had that installed before, so that's why nothing was shown. And then for the tests, first we need to use the new mock adapter with the v3 at the end. And then instead of requiring the robot and text message classes deeply from hubot, which we just should not do at all, I will require hubot itself, like that, and then use the classes that I exported from the main export. Okay, and that in theory should work. Okay, so we have all the tests passed now. So now to the actual conversion. Actually, let me commit this. JavaScript. After two new hubot and hubot-mock-adapter. Ready for a new hubot. Okay. So now we have everything clean, and now we use decaffeinate. So decaffeinate, as I've shown, or not yet shown, is a pretty cool tool which directly converts CoffeeScript to JavaScript, and it's very powerful and it's a great starting point. It's not 100% perfect, but it's much better to do everything by hand, and it comes with a lot of options, of which we use quite a few, and they are documented on the repository. So here I will convert the source file. Okay, and now what I do is I make a temporary folder, source alt, and move over the CoffeeScript, so it's not in my way, but I can keep it for reference. And now let's run the tests and see what's happening. Okay. Okay. This is because we have still the file extension here, so we can remove that now. And okay, so it's still passing. So that is great. So I can actually I add the last change to the previous commit, and now I have just source, and I say refactor converting CoffeeScript to JavaScript with. Okay, next up, I take this JavaScript code, which comes with very modern JavaScript, and we want to be compatible with Node 4, so use Babel.js. For many files, we can use the Babel.js CLI, but for simple files like this, I can use the online REPL. And I've selected Node 6 as a target, not Node 4, because with Node 4 target, I found a bug which causes a lot of extra JavaScript. So Node 4 is, and setting it to Node 6 is simpler, and the only thing that we still need to change later is JavaScript variable deconstruction, which is not supported in Node 4 yet. So I take this, I paste it in here. Okay, there's not even a change this time, so that's cool. Now, we also introduce linting, for which we use a tool called standard. So for one, I can just install standard here as a dev dependency, and I will add a new script. So pre-test, we will run standard, and standard comes also with a mode which lets us fix the existing JavaScript. So I can run my local standard with fix on source help, and it will resolve most of the problems that I have seen. Okay, so now no more semicolons. Let's see. So there is this interesting problem here that renamed help comments is a function that doesn't even exist and it's not defined. So I will create a follow-up issue for that. For the time being, I create a comment up here to tell ESLint that this is not an issue. And then for the remaining ones, it just complains about using underscore instead of camel case. So I do this. Now if I run npm test, it should be happy with everything. Oh no. Okay, grunt file. Well, I guess let's fix grunt file too. Okay. Okay, standard is happy, tests are happy, and we commit our changes with style standard. Okay. And next I will go through the file manually and just look for things that could be made nicer. For example, there is this weird guard method here. I wonder what it does. And for that, I can look into my help coffee that I still left around. So I will find okay, so this is basically the guard method is for these question mark things. So what I would do is basically just say if message and message user name. So it's not as nice as in CoffeeScript here, but that will work. And the other one, well, we already know that name exists, so that should be fine, right? Message username. Oh, okay, like this. Okay, let's see if we still use this guard method. No, we don't use it any longer, so we can get rid of it. Let's see what else we have. That's okay. So that was pretty simple. Okay, so that is fine. Now I'm confused. Okay. It didn't show any changes before because I actually didn't commit it. So anyway, now I will. Let me show my commits. Yeah, I would just commit these all at once. Maybe separately the standard, and then I will commit source and grunt file. Okay, oops, what have I done? Git. Okay, git add. Okay, so next up we do the same thing. Oops. With the test folder now. So we converted the test. This time I will commit it right away. I would at least stage it. Okay, so now we can see what happens if we use Babel to convert it. Let's see. Yeah, because actually it did quite a bit. It added the use strict, and for example it changed the deconstructing of variables to something like this. Okay, so that is fine. We can add that again. Now again I move away the test coffee file for now, and I will fix the JavaScript file. Okay. So here already we can see that there are things that we don't even use. We can just throw these away. So linting is already helping us. I like to move like requires of native packages like path, which are always there and not third-party dependencies through npm, in its own block on the very top. Okay, but we still have variables that are not defined here, so we need to define them as globals, and this is magic coming from Mocha, like describe before each, after each, and so on. So I put them up here. Let's see where we are. Okay. So CoffeeScript just leaves us with a lot of return statements that are totally unnecessary. Oh, it is not defined. So we can remove these. We can remove the... Okay. Context is not defined. Huh, I don't even know what it is. Okay, oops. Alright, let's see how that goes. Something is wrong because we have 0 passing. So I'm pretty sure it's something in our test script. Grunt test. So we don't need that any longer. We also don't need CoffeeScript any longer, I guess. So we can remove that. And I think we can also remove that. Let's see. Okay, so that looks all good. Now the last thing that I like to do is run the new test but with the old implementation. So instead of source, I want to say source old, so that the new JavaScript tests will still work with the old file. And let's see if that goes. Okay, that looks good too. Just to make sure, I want to like okay. Just wanted to make sure that the file is actually loaded. So that looks all good. So now we can get rid of this. No. There wasn't style updates. Oh, let me just see the diff. Okay. Okay. Cool. I guess I can just commit it all together and say test CoffeeScript to JavaScript. Yeah, and that's it. So I will start a pull request now. And I will add the link to the screencast in here. Oops, what did I do wrong? Git pull request. Okay, so here it is. Here are all the files that we changed. These are just the style updates and CoffeeScript updates. Package.json changes look good. The script update looks good. So that has all been removed and replaced. Same with the test. Okay, I think this is good to go.